What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the studio where the sound of sports is heard. I'm your host, Don Castillo, and welcome to Thursday's video. This is going to be a controversial video. We're going to be talking about hot takes, and I got 5 hot takes for you today. These are controversial hot takes. Let's be real. These are ones that I expect nobody to agree with me on. Well, maybe a few people will agree with me on some of these. And these are also hot takes that if I look back on 4 or 5 months from now, I would maybe call myself stupid because these, like I said, these are pretty controversial. So, if you disagree, don't just shut off the video and dislike. Comment down below why you disagree, why you think I am crazy for even thinking this, because I know some of these are very controversial, and I know some of these are very unlikely of happening, but if they do, I wouldn't be surprised. That being said, let's jump right into this. My very first hot take, which is basketball related. Almost all these are football related except for this one. LaMelo Ball will be an absolute superstar in this league. He will win Rookie of the Year, and he will eventually be an MVP. And I understand how difficult that is for people to process here, that LaMelo Ball is going to be any essence of a good player, especially considering that he comes from the Ball family, how much drama they have, how sometimes they look like a very unbright family. I'm trying to be nice here. No, they look like a very stupid family. Unbright might not even be a word. I understand why people are very skeptical of LaMelo Ball coming into this league, but in my opinion, he is one of the best raw offensive talents I have ever seen coming out of the draft. Excuse me. Of course, LeBron is the best. Zion was a great prospect, but a guy like LaMelo, he has everything in his toolkit. He can drive. He can shoot. He has the mid-range. And I really love his play. I like the way he dribbles. I like the way he charges. And those are he put up really impressive stats in college. And I just think he will translate really well in the pros. And like I said, if I were to pick a Rookie of the Year right now, it'd be him. And I understand some of you guys think I'm crazy. But that's what I feel. I think he's a very good player. And just so you guys know, as of now, I'm shooting this on Wednesday night. As of now, I think LaMelo Ball was just drafted to the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll see what he can do in Charlotte. I'm saying this prematurely. He could be traded eventually later. Maybe some draft adjustments here. So if he's not in Charlotte, excuse me for spreading wrong information. All right. My second hot take. Kyler Murray will be the MVP of this league. And this one is probably my least controversial one, as Kyler Murray has been more and more and more impressive. But I'm still going to consider it a hot take just because how many people consider Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, even Josh Allen ahead of Kyler Murray in the MVP race. Look, I'll give you a reason why each one of those 3 guys you just mentioned is not an MVP candidate or is not a better MVP candidate than Kyler. Russell Wilson, sure, he has had a tremendous start to his year, but let's not forget, we are in week 9 and he has 10 interceptions. That is not MVP level of touchdown to interception ratio. Russell Wilson also is going on a major cold streak. He's not producing a lot of offense. He's throwing turnovers like crazy. If this continues, he's not an MVP. If this season were to end now, I would say Russell Wilson is the league MVP, but it isn't, and he's trending in the wrong direction. Aaron Rodgers is wildly inconsistent. We see him one week produce absolutely nothing, and the following week he's generating 80-yard touchdowns and throwing for over 300 yards. So I just don't see Aaron Rodgers being as consistent as a guy like Kyler Murray. And Josh Allen, sure, he's throwing for a lot of yards, but at the end of the day, he's not as efficient as Kyler Murray. So then comes in Kyler Murray. He's been efficient. He doesn't turn over the ball. He can use his legs. He's consistent. His team is trending in the right direction. I think when everything's said and done, Kyler Murray will win MVP. And I don't know. That's just what I believe. I think he's trending in the right direction. So we'll see if that turns out. I feel like out of all of these 5 hot takes, I feel like that is the one most likely to happen. All right, now my third hot take. This one hits home a little bit as I'm an Eagles fan, and that is that Carson Wentz will not be a starter a year from now. A year from now, Carson Wentz will be benched. And, the reason why this is a hot take, I feel like a lot of people expect this as well. But the reason why this is a hot take is because how much money the Eagles have invested and how much time they've invested in Carson Wentz. It would be absolutely absurd if they were to move on from him. Just the thought of moving on from him is a little crazy just because of how much they've invested in him. But considering how badly he's played and how wildly inconsistent. Now, not inconsistent like Aaron Rodgers. Like one game, Aaron Rodgers is very quiet, and the next game, he's a monster. No, inconsistent play by play. Like one throw, Carson Wentz looks like the best player in the league, and then the next throw, he's Jameis Winston. If that continues, if that inconsistencies continue, if the consistent, underwhelming performance continues, Carson Wentz will be benched a year from now. Okay, let's go to our fourth hot take. This one is very controversial, but I'm just going to say it. Ready for it? The Dolphins are a dark horse Super Bowl team. Hear me out. Like I said, don't just shut off the video and just hear me out on this one. The Dolphins, who are, by the way, one game behind the Bills to take the AFC East, which, by the way, they're only one game behind because the Dolphins has had their bye. The Dolphins are on a 4-game winning streak. Not only that, their rookie quarterback looks extremely efficient, and they're not putting a lot on him, but what he's shown so far, he has shown to be a leader. He has shown a lot of poise. He has shown he can move in the pocket. He's shown that he has some really good accuracies in the red zone. Tua looks like the real deal. 2, their defense is one of the most underrated defenses in the league. Over the last 4 weeks, they have been the first or second best defense in the league, generating a lot of turnovers, the best overall defense on third down, so they're getting opponents off the field, getting Tua on the field. And 3, they can run the ball. They can run it really well. Gaskin has been out a couple weeks, but he's been a super good runner. Breida is a really good runner. They can pound the rock, and I think that I just wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins make the playoffs, whether they win the East or they're very close to winning the East and are a wildcard team. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden they can go on a run. If they can make 1 upset, 2 upsets, and then boom, all of a sudden they're in the Super Bowl. It really wouldn't shock me, and that would mean that Tua would be one of very few rookies to make the Super Bowl, and very few rookie quarterbacks, excuse me, and it wouldn't surprise me. So we'll see on that one. It's very, very controversial, and that's one that might not happen if I were to bet money on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. And our fifth and final most controversial hot take. I know a couple friends. I live in PA here, so I know a couple friends who will not be happy at me for this one. But the Steelers are the worst 9-0 team I think I've ever seen. they are not good. They're 5-4 disguised in 9-0. Okay? I understand how controversial that is. Like I said, don't shut off the video and dislike. Hear me out on this one, okay? Who have the Steelers beat? I get it. I keep on hearing this. Oh, Edon, the Steelers can only beat who's ahead of them. Okay. Sure, they've beat every team that was ahead of them. The pretty garbage teams that were ahead of them, but it's not like they had impressive wins. They nearly lost to the Eagles. They nearly lost to the Cowboys with their technically fourth string quarterback. They lost to the they didn't lose, but I consider it a loss. They nearly lost to the Broncos' second string quarterback. They were a drive away from it. Okay. Well, Don, they've beaten, two really good teams. They've beaten the Ravens and they've beaten the Titans. Okay. Since the Steelers beat the Ravens have looked really, really bad on offense. They've looked deflated on offense. Lamar Jackson is not producing any offense. They just lost to the very underwhelming Patriots. And the Titans. The Titans have not won a game since they lost to the Steelers. They're being upset. People are slapping them around. The Colts just beat the crap out of them on Thursday night. So, I mean, sure, those are good teams, but they're not like, these aren't exceptional teams that the Steelers faced against. And let me remind you that when the Steelers played against these teams, they were very close wins. Against the Titans, the Steelers won off a missed field goal, which is the lamest way to win. They won because a guy who's supposed to kick the ball into the post missed. And they beat the Ravens just because the Ravens were running the same 3 plays over and over again, and it was a one-score game the entire game. Which, by the way, it was a very sloppy game. So, I really don't think the Steelers are a good 9-0 team. They're going to be one of those teams that will go into the playoffs with a 14-2 record and get eliminated in their first game. It wouldn't shock me at all. I believe that will happen. I don't think that they've played anybody impressive. The second that they will play somebody impressive in the playoffs, they'll get the butts kicked out of them. So I don't think the Steelers are good. I got nothing against the Steelers. No biases. Based on what I've seen and based on what they've been able to do, they are not impressive, and they are a fraud 9-0. All right. I just spewed a lot of controversial information here. If you disagree with anything, like my video and go down into the comments and tell me why you disagree. Don't just dislike and leave and be like, oh, this guy sucks. Tell me why you disagree. That's the beauty about hot takes. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.